Okay, we should be live sometime soon. And just post the link just in case someone wants to join in. We'll jump straight into what we're doing today, into the code. I'll explain it a bit. Do I need to go? Yeah, I'll open it in YouTube as well. I don't like the YouTube interface, but it is what it is. Share Twitter. And LinkedIn won't work from here, would it? No, because I don't have credentials in there. I'll post that. Oh, by the way, now I have 1,000 connections, whatever they're called, on LinkedIn. So I don't know what that means. Yeah, exactly 1,000. Probably have to clean them up or wait until LinkedIn does. I know they always fighting bots and inactive accounts, or I don't know what percentage. Someone says about 20-30% after, what was it, like the Twitter files. Don't know what the number is, but let them deal with that. So let's start with this, jump straight into this. So I don't know if I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but there was a hack or attempt to hack my server. I don't know what it was, but anyhow, I started fresh, but on Linux Apache server. I don't know if you're interested in the details. Let me know. But all my previous stuff doesn't work anymore, so it's only the new tools that are working. All the older stuff is not, and that's mainly because I couldn't restart my LabVIEW back and the API server, so all this stuff doesn't work. For this one, for example, I already have a Python code that does something similar to this raw EG signal generator. But then currently I'm updating this one. This meant to be a comparison between different types of noise, and it's relevant to EEG because inverse F, also called pink noise, also called something else, is quite relevant to EEG. And we'll try to replicate this. Probably don't need this. So, yeah, we'll see if we need noise amplitude or not. We had it working before. So the idea is, yeah, it will synthetic noise generate a dashboard. Our dashboard is redundant. We'll probably get rid of it. And yes, it was working before. It's actually generating every time you click here. I don't know how to. Oop. It's not running at the moment. Let's check. Actually, have to run this Python script. It's working from here. Every time you generate this, this one should be different. Yeah, it's actually updating that. So that's a good thing. However, these two charts, frequency and time series and frequency domain should be displayed here. We checked time chart placeholder, frequency chart placeholder. Why don't they have a name? I don't know. Time chart placeholder. Anyway, there's some sort of problem with this code. Yeah, this session, OpenAI session, kinda got to a dead end. So we will start from scratch. So we're using these libraries, Panda, NumPy, Plotly. So mainly relying on Plotly offline. So this bio. Actually, let's get back to this. This one says that the Plotly version that I'm using, I'm pulling it from the CDN, Plotly CDN latest. Test your application. So now that one is actually working correctly because generating plots is something to do with placing them into HTML. Yeah, and yeah, so we're using Flask for this because so originally the way I made this, we had those original prompts from the Levy code, just description of what we had. It's still online, you can check it out. Then we adjusted several times with GPT to generate new prompts, and we went through those. It was working okay until we changed the data interaction bit. So this where it's so it was working up to this point. It's working okay. So I have to see what happened there. We could pop this. Let's see if we can still continue with this ChatGPT session. Let's find. Right, yes, so we changed the type of the axis to logarithmic scale. That was working okay. Yeah, right, up to this point it was working just fine. Let's create a copy of this. Rename this. Well, it won't work anyway. Yeah, we want this code. Where's my... Checking, it says stream healthy, everything's working, it's supposed to be working okay. Just check the sound. Right, the sound is there. Just have to make sure I'm using the correct microphone stuff. I might actually close stream, that one, and my stream with it, live stream, the YouTube Studio, because I'm actually live streaming straight from OBS, and OBS is still working. My stream is still live, so that's okay. So copy that, pop it in the test. Let's see. Some errors. Getting a server error because we changed something in the we don't need that, don't need the copy, need the index. Check if I have the index as well. Yes, we do. It was a shorter one without any JavaScript. We'll copy that as well. No, don't want the name of it. Copy. Right. Let's check it now. Right, so now it's working again. So we have uniform white noise, and that it's frequency response. We have Gaussian white. That's what response looks like. Periodic has this frequency embedded in it. Probably the amplitude is too high, so you can barely see the noise there. I can fix it later. Inverse F, and this is the one that looks like a EEG. It has this interesting response. No, not an interesting, just that's what it's meant to be doing. it's there's a description of it somewhere, so that should be okay. Let's cancel this. Now this prompt, pop it in there. Okay, so we continue from that syntax because that's the last thing that was actually working okay. Yeah, then afterwards it started hallucinating a bit. Anyway, pop this. Data direction is changing the noise type in the drop-down menu, ensure that the charts and data update accordingly without requiring. Can I get rid of that? I think that sentence made GPT to go on into a whole spiral of changing the code. Update the charts when the user selects a different noise type. We can remove a generate noise button. Add variable for default noise, and on startup populate the charts with default noise type. I don't think it's happening. Oh, it is happening already. Let's do control. So that's working okay. I'll actually need this chart selection. And we can remove chart selection, drop down. Yeah, on startup, I think this is already happening. Let me just check this one. Oops, no. Want to edit that prompt. Going back in our prompts.
To populate the charts with the default noise type on startup, you can add a default value for the noise type in your generate_noise root function and then call the generate_noise_data function with this default value. Here's how you can modify your code to achieve this. In this code, we use request form.get noise_type uniform to get the selected noise type from the form. If a noise type is not provided in the form, e.g. on startup, it defaults to uniform. This way, when the user accesses the page initially, it will display the charts with the default noise type uniform. Now, when you start the application or refresh the page, it will populate the charts with the default noise type without requiring user interaction.
Sorry, I'm always messing around with those text to speech bits. Seems like it went into the stream, but I couldn't hear it. Why? Just check my settings quickly. Sound setting. Yeah, because I have a different sound device. And just double check this.
Select a noise type from the form. If a noise type is not provided in the form, e.g. on startup, it defaults to uniform. This way, when the user accesses the page initially, it will display the charts with the default noise type uniform. Now, when you start the application or refresh the page, it will populate the charts with the default noise type without requiring user interaction.
Okay, I think it's already doing it though. Unless, yeah, we don't have that icon, that's okay. Let me just restart the application. Right. Just remembers the last thing already. Wait, is it going to? It remembers the last thing. I don't know how it does it, but it does. So I'm pretty sure I don't need to do that. Request form get already doing this. This is in the Python code. And no, but I don't think I need to. Noise type and generate noise. To have request form. What's the difference?
I apologize for the confusion. The code I provided earlier for setting the default noise type is correct. You should use request form.get noise underscore type uniform instead of request form noise underscore type to handle cases where the noise type is not provided in the form, as it could lead to an error. Here's the updated code snippet.
Okay, it's urging me to change it, but it's working now. We will change it because obviously the bot knows much more about programming, about Python, than I'll probably ever will. And let me just test periodic, Control F, periodic. Yep. Okay, so that's seem to work okay. Now that the issue, I don't know, we'll sort it out later. Do I need to adjust those prompts? Where were we? Yeah, this number 8. So interaction. Update the charts when the user selects a different noise type. Remove a generate noise button. Yeah, we can go for that.
To update the charts when the user selects a different noise type and remove the generate noise button, you can use JavaScript to achieve a dynamic update without a page refresh. Here's an updated version of your HTML and Python code. Update the HTML template, index, HTML, to remove the generate noise button and add JavaScript to handle the noise type selection and chart updates. Update the Python code, app.py, to handle the noise type selection and return the charts based on the selected noise type without the generate noise button.
Okay, maybe we should keep it for now. It's this is where it went south previously.
With these changes, the noise type selection dropdown will dynamically update the charts without requiring a full page refresh when a different noise type is selected. The Generate Noise button has been removed, as it's no longer needed.
Right. So it's now, yeah, before it was started, so it's actually converted into JSON. So here, yeah, I had this, was it up copy? Yeah, I was trying to use this Plotly offline. I don't know what that is, if anyone knows, but yeah, it was stuffing this up. But now it seemed to have taken a different approach. We can give it a go. Yeah, we probably want to get rid of the previous code. So this file, the copy and index copy, move that to trash. We'll generate the copy of that. Yeah, and we'll try what it suggests, but at the moment, yeah, so what we're trying to do is, so we have this, again, synthetic noise generated dashboard. This one is not currently being used. Maybe we'll use it later, or maybe this will be tabs. See how we go. Probably just remove it. And then you have a drop down. Well, the drop down is short enough. Maybe we can just display everything on screen. And now when generating new waveform, you have to hit this button. It will show you the time series and the frequency domain, with the x-axis being logarithmic. It doesn't say so, it actually should. Why is this thing is going beyond the screen there? We'll fix it later. So we have periodic here. This amplitude is too high. We probably want to reduce that amplitude. So this is the code that just generates everything we need. The amplitude of the code, let's pop it 0.1 or something. And this is 0.025. Still, no, okay, it's 0.0025. So now I can actually see the noise, which is good. Let's make it, let's half it. Well, right, well, but now you can barely see the signal. Now the signal should be visible, so that's that 100 hertz in there. It actually should be 10 hertz. I don't know why there's some mistake. It's the common thing. You had it like in Levy all the time as well, where, yeah, the duration would not match. Yeah, we'll have to fix that time axis there. Anyway, but what I'm primarily interested in is this inverse F. Reason being, it's the most similar to EG baseline. Has very similar characteristics. So you can regenerate those. And that's the code. It's actually using a function there. The function is essentially generating pink noise. Yeah, I have to sort out the amplitudes and everything. Currently not scaling, but yeah, that's fairly straightforward. So this will eventually go. Still need to figure out how to publish this. Apparently just do replace that uprun port 80 amp. I'm still in debugging mode and still not available online. I think if you're a hacker, maybe let me know if you can access it already. If you are a hacker, I probably don't need to publish anything for you already. You already got it. So eventually it will replace on this side. It will replace this inverse noise F because we're also using that in generating synthetic EEG signals. Well, because it's looks a lot like EEG baseline. So let me know what is it I'm doing wrong, and yeah, I wanted to, and how can I improve on this? The thing of the matter is that I don't really need Plotly. And by the way, am I even using like the, where's the oh, can't be, where's the I had it open before, didn't I? Yeah, because I'm pulling it from the what? Right, okay. So it's actually not there anymore. I need version control for this. I don't actually know how to use version control properly. I have all this thing going on. I think it doesn't do periodic commits. Should be on my, it should be linked to, well, before on my previous machine it was linked to my GitHub. I think this one isn't, well, not yet. ECG generate. Let me check. All right, just something for fun. We were doing this chaos, this run. It's funny how when you have Flask running, well, first nothing else will run. Right, this chaos analytics is actually something from a paper, replicating figures in a recent paper. But it's got too complicated, so leave that alone for a sec. ECG generator. This prompts should it's meant to be, this is wrong, it's meant to EG generator. Let me see if it's so this generating this image of EEG like waveforms. Synthetic EEG, but right, this stuff, it doesn't like it because what's happening with my how do I make sure my OBS is working on the GPU? Currently I'm using, yeah, it's using a few percent CPU. Yeah, don't have a good way to monitor GPU usage. Could be using the OpenGL, because I have this on. How much of this being used? Oh, 22%. No, it can't be my screen because it must be the OBS. But how do I actually check? I don't know. Application profiles. Have to look at that later. Get back to where we were. Just yeah, many after this dashboard. Of course, it's not running because we stopped it. Just close this for a sec. Yeah, the Cardio Quest game should be running and working okay, and yeah, I'm more than happy to publish the code, except, well, first of all, it's already all there because it's literally just using so these files are just available. Yeah, it has this HTML, game logic and waveforms. That's what's actually generating the waveforms. So it's all there. Don't remember what the script does there. Change of mouse clicks. That's pretty much it, so you can go play it. You can get the source code. This should be correct rejection. That's abnormal, so hit. That's normal, should be correct rejection. Yeah, I already played it before, so you can go try it out. Oh, did I miss one? This should be, yeah, this one abnormal. And it does go faster. If you know what you're doing, it can get real fast. There's actually no speed limit to how fast it can get. I mean, will probably depend on your browser. It should be 5. This is 6. And yeah, every 50 points, the speed goes up a notch, just to make it more interesting. Yeah, like now. Yeah, it will now only let you click on it once on each waveform. Subnormal as well, it's missing a bit. It's subnormal, abnormal. Yeah, now it's faster again. And yeah, you can go see a video like getting to 1,000 points with this. Please do try it out. Let me know how many points you can get to. I was thinking having a leaderboard or something. But yes, let's keep it non-competitive. I don't want people to fight. But yes, it could be a nice education thing for you to also learn about how normal ECG and abnormal ECG looks like, but also another main thing here is you can learn about the false alarms, correct rejections, and the likes, and how they're being calculated and measured. The score, by the way, here is very simple, just giving you 10 points for correct response. The other thing that is hardwired is the... Oh, I think I missed. Yeah, missed. Correct. Anyway, give it a go, and we will... Yeah, we have this ECG simulator again. Those one of those tools that have all the source code already there. It doesn't have a backend. Right, so that was CardioQuest ECG simulator. We'll get to it again. The particle motion, we actually wanted to add an option to select different models of how particles interact. But again, you can either get the code and do it yourself, or wait for me to do this later. Speech analysis should still work. And let us go back to inverse image processing. Yeah, I'm wondering, how do you properly run this thing? So what I want to know is, how to execute it, because then the next question would be how to add it to the website so it's accessible to anyone. A third minor concern And we need all this in proper prompts. So we have how to execute and how to add to Bionic chaos.com. By the way, a little plug, if you need anything custom, we also have bioniccloud.com. That one requires a login. Let me know, I can set you up with one. These two can be a separate thing. Then the chance will be. Yes, so this one requires adding a JavaScript. This one's suggesting to do it inside the HTML. Should we do it? Can try it out. They're missing bits there. Right, so this is the two major things. The thing is, if the index if the index HTML in a templates folder, how can I run this from bionichaos.com? If okay, stop listening to me. In templates,
To run your Flask application from a domain like bionichaos.com with the index HTML file located in a templates folder, you need to follow these general steps. Host your Flask application. Deploy your Flask application on a web server. You can choose a hosting provider like AWS, Heroku, DigitalOcean, or any other hosting service that supports Python applications.
Okay, wait a sec. Does it know about the inverse F noise? Okay, maybe it does not matter, but the point is all the files are located in oops invest f noise folder subfolder that is simple on so originally this one can open in live and this should be index via accessible via index HTML if the current HTML, by the way, can I just do okay, it's weird. No, that doesn't work. Can close that. This one works okay, but it's through Flask. So essentially, can I run it not via Flask? Folder that is accessible via index. If the run the app okay, let's see.
If your index HTML file is located in the templates subfolder and you want to run your Flask app from a specific directory, e.g., inverse_f_noise, you can do the following. Open a terminal and navigate to the directory where your Flask app script, app.py, is located. It should be in the inverse_f_noise folder or a directory above it. Activate your virtual environment if you're using one for your Flask app. This command specifies the host as 0.0.0.0 to make the app
And so why I can't do it in here? So I have multiple pages running on it. Yeah, the other thing is I don't get this.
If your index.html file is located in the templates subfolder and you want to run your Flask app from a specific directory, e.g., inverse_f_noise, you can do the following. Open a terminal and navigate to the directory where your Flask app script, app.py, is located. It should be in the inverse_f_noise folder or directory above it. Activate
Because that's called the Svelfire live ser oop. Live server the card. Okay, how to press the app from kind of different question, or is it the same?
to run and access your Flask app from http://127.0.0.1:5500/inverse_f_noise/, you can follow these steps. Navigate to the directory where your app.py file is located. This is the Python script that runs your Flask app. In the terminal, activate your virtual environment if you're using one. You can activate it with a command like this. The actual command might vary depending on your operating system and virtual environment setup. Once your virtual environment is activated, if you're using one, you can run your Flask app using the following command. This will start your Flask app, and it should be accessible at http://127.0.0.1.
Can I run it on the same port though? So if I do this, uh, this still works, but this doesn't. well, yeah, Apache is not relevant at the moment, but yeah, Linux is. Just keep giving me instructions for Windows as well. Forget Apache for now. Let's use Linux. What do I'm not using not using virtual environment. Okay, I have Flask installed. What's the difference between can I just do this? This working okay. This one is not. How come? This is weird. Real confused. Still on 8080.
If you want to run your Flask app with the host set to 0.0.0.0 and port 5500, you can modify the following line in your app.py file. Make sure to replace the existing app.run, port equals 8080, debug equals true, with the updated line above. This change will allow your Flask app to be accessible from external devices on your local network using your server's IP address on port 5500. After making this change, run your Flask app using the following command. Your app will then be accessible at http:// less than your server app greater than 5500 inverse_f_noise from other devices on the same network, where less than your server app greater than is the IP address of the machine running the Flask app.
It is, but it's not working correctly. with a style sheet. I don't know why.
The error message you're encountering suggests that there is an issue with the way your web server is serving the CSS style sheet. The error, refused to apply style, indicates that the browser is refusing to load the style sheet because the MIME type is not recognized as a supported style sheet type. To resolve this issue, you can follow these steps. Check the file path. Ensure that the path to your CSS style sheet is correct and that the file exists in a specified location. The path should be relative to your Flask application's root directory. Ensure proper MIME type. Make sure that the server is correctly specifying the MIME type for CSS files as text CSS. You can do this by configuring your Flask application to serve static files with the correct MIME type. In your Flask app, you can add the following line to set the MIME type for CSS files. Python. Copy code. App, config, mime_types, equals, text, css.css. You can add this line before the app.run statement in your app.py file. Verify static file configuration. Ensure that your Flask app is configured to serve static files from the correct directory. In your Flask app, you should have a line like this. Python. Copy code. The error message, address already in use, indicates that the port you're trying to use, in this case, port 5500, is already in use by another program or process on your system. To resolve this issue, you can choose one of the following approaches. Stop the program using port 5500. Identify the program or process that is currently using port 5500 and stop it. You can use the netstack command or a similar tool to find the process using the port. Once you've identified it, you can stop it or configure it to use a different port. Change support for your Flask app. Since port 5500 is already in use, you can configure your Flask app to run on a different port that is not in use. Update the app.run line in your Flask app to specify a different port, like 5000 or 8080. Python. Copy code. If __name __equals __main __. App.run, host equals 0.0.0.0, port equals 5000, debug To access your Flask app from http://127.0.0.1:5500/inverse_f_noise/ on Linux, you can follow these steps. Make sure you have Flask installed in your Python environment. If not, you can install it using pip, copy code to pip install Flask. Create a Flask app using the code you provided earlier. Make sure the Flask app is in a folder named _f_noise. Open a terminal and navigate to the folder containing your Flask app, the _f_noise folder. Run your Flask app with the following command. This command starts the Flask development server and makes your app accessible on all network interfaces, 0.0.0.0, at port 8080. You can adjust the host and port as needed. Once the app is running, you should see output similar to the following. Now, you can access your Flask app from http://127.0.0.1:5500/inverse_f_noise/ in your web browser. Flask will handle requests at http://127.0.0.1:5500/inverse_f_noise/ as long as the Flask app is running. Please note that if you have other web server configurations or a static file server like live server running on port 5500, you may need to adjust the port numbers to avoid conflicts. In this case, you can change the Flask app's port to a different value in the Flask run command.
First, it did not generate a waveform on first run. think we need this too. Okay, get rid of the it's work, but how do I access it? Okay, might take a break and try this later. So see